Hey everybody, it's your boy BK Muck coming at you with a Madden Ultimate Team video. Today we're going over tight end speed, comparing it with height, acceleration, weight, and release. And you know what? There are some interesting things in here. So definitely watch to the end, because one thing I found is there is a card that doesn't even cost 50,000 coins that balls out over a card that costs you 240. So you're gonna want to see what budget beater just shreds a 250,000 coin card. Let's start her up. First thing we're gonna say here, the reason Jimmy Graham is on the page is no surprise to anybody. Jimmy Graham is gonna ball out, right? He's gonna show out. He's the best card. He costs you 330,000 coins, but I mean, he comes in with the best stats. He's tall, right? 6'7", 265 pounds, but he's got 84 speed, which is a competitive speed amongst tight ends. He's got 90 acceleration, which again, that leads acceleration in tight ends. And he's got 92 release. So we ran this time trial with Jimmy, and he's competitive in the speed, leads in acceleration, leads in the release, and he puts up times that show that, right? So I was not expecting any one of these cards to beat Jimmy Graham. But what I was not expecting was how close they all got. Except for one. And the one that completely threw up a stinker today was the second most expensive card on this list. But, as you can see here, Jimmy Graham posted a 1.46 for his 10-yard sprint. And then he posted a 2.51 for his 20 yards and a 3.63 for his 30 yards. Very, very good, right? It was very good. And we will compare them all at the end. So that's Jimmy. And now we're going to move on to our next guy, which is Jermichael Finley. And when it comes to Jermichael Finley, he's rocking out at 83 speed, 86 acceleration, 87 release, 6'5", 247 pounds. So when you compare him to Jimmy Graham, he's shorter, lighter, release isn't as good, acceleration isn't as good, and top speed isn't as good. So all three of those things are nowhere near Jimmy Graham, except his speed is 83 to 84 on Jimmy, but the other two way lower. So he should get shredded. But here's where I think height and weight come into play, because Finley's 10 yards was 1.48 seconds. His 20 yards was 2.56 seconds. And his 30 yards was 3.68 seconds. Not shredded by this card. And I think it has a lot to do with the 2 inches and the 20 pounds. But we just can't assume that off of one. So let's keep rolling through to see what else we have to compare to Jimmy Graham's height and weight. And the next one up is going to be your budget beater, the tight end that if you don't have and you don't have coins, you need to go out and get. And that's Jonnu Smith. This card here, Janu Smith, team builder card, 84 overall, comes in at 42,000 coins with 85 speed, 86 acceleration, and 76 release. The worst release we have on today's video. Then you're also going to see that he has 6'3" height and 248 weight. So next to Finley, he's 2 inches shorter, but he's the same weight. Finley's release shreds Janu Smith with a difference of 11. But then you got Smith that beats Finley in speed, and they tie in acceleration. And obviously Graham shreds Finley in every category except speed. So this was very interesting to see here. And Janu Smith posted in his 10 yards 1.53, his 20 yards 2.61, and his 30 yards 3.72. When this man comes out with another card, it is going to be ridiculous because his release is going to be better. That's the only thing I can see here. His release is terrible. But as you see in his times, his height and his speed make up that gap. Because with that release, he should have got shredded. Absolutely shredded. But he didn't. And I think it's because the height and the speed make up the gap. So how much does release really matter? The next guy really shows that, as he is an identical card to Finley. The only difference is release. So let's go over there and check out who I'm talking about. That's right, we're talking about Tony Gonzales, 200,000 coin card. And he puts up, and he has 83 speed, 87 acceleration, 82 release. So he is identical to Finley, except he's got +1 acceleration and he's got -5 release. Height, weight, identical. So these times should be identical, right? Everything is the same except release. If release really matters, we are going to see it right here. And Gonzales puts up 1.48 seconds for his 10 yards, 2.56 seconds for his 20 yards, and 3.67 seconds for his 30 yards. We're going to compare him with everyone else right at the end. But did his release and his acceleration counterbalance each other to keep up with Finley? We're going to find that out at the end. The last one we're going to do is the absolute stinker that I was telling you guys about. This card is 240,000 coins, and he plays like he should be about 20,000 coins. And that is Rob Gronkowski's 89 overall Team of the Week card. He has 80 speed, 85 acceleration, 89 release. That is key here. 89 release. Gronk has the second best release out of these 5 tight ends. But he is a fat slob coming in at 255. That brings him in at the second heaviest, right? Right behind Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham's 265, Gronk's 255, and Gronk comes in at 6'6". So Gronk is the tallest. Gronk is the second tallest and second fattest on this list. But where he lacks on Jimmy Graham, it really shows. Jimmy's speed, acceleration, and release, I think, is what kept Jimmy at the top of the leaderboard here. Because when you watch, Gronk is tall, heavy, slow, and his acceleration matches the other guys in the tier. So when we add speed and weight to this great release, this is what happens. Gronk's 10 yards, he puts up a 1.60 seconds. His 20 yard, he puts up a 2.78 seconds. And his 30 yard is a 3.92 seconds. The worst trial out of everybody here. And he's got the second best release. So Gronk is not a card I would buy. His speed is not that much lower than Gonzales and Finley. And his time is terrible compared to the two. His acceleration is one less than Finley and Smith. And those Finley and Smith just shred them. His height and his weight slow him down over that 89 release. That 89 release should have helped balance him out. Because what I'm seeing on the three middle cards here is that they all have slight little differences. But the area that they're better balances their card out with the area that they're bad. So Smith is slightly poor on the release from everybody. He's the only one in the 70s. But his height, his weight, his speed, and his acceleration keeps him in the conversation for a great tight end. For speed-wise. Then you got Finley and Gonzales that are all average height, average weight. Their only two differences are release, right? Gonzales has slightly better acceleration to make up for his poor release. And those two are identical. Identical. And then you take Jimmy Graham, who's a savage. He's a monster, an animal. He's the best tight end in the game, and it shows as he comes in at 330,000 coins because he's a red zone monster and a speed monster. But my winner has to be Jimmy Graham. No doubt, eh? Jimmy Graham's the winner. Jonnu Smith would be the second best tight end here. Not because of just his time. His time is right there with the other two, as you see, 1.53 coming in at a difference of nothing because the other two got 1.48, right? No difference there. The only difference there is you're saving yourself 160,000 coins. And then you come in at Gronk, leave that card in the auction block, let somebody else buy it. Really, it's not worth it. Unless you're a Patriots fan or a Tampa Bay fan and you want to get this card on your theme team, go ahead. But this card really performed poorly out there when it comes to speed. So if that's what you're looking for, leave Gronk in the auction house. Go with somebody else. And if you have the 234,000 coins to buy Gronk, keep going. You're a good saver. Get up to 330 and get yourself Jimmy Graham. But anyway, guys, that's the time trial video. My takeaways of it are height and weight matter. So if you get a tall and heavy tight end, make sure he's got good release. That would be my takeaway here. He can have average speed and average acceleration comparing him to the rest. But if he's going to be tall and heavy, make sure he's got great release and at least 83 overall speed. And if you're going to come in with somebody like Jonnu Smith that you want to be a shred monster, if he's got poor release, make sure he's super fast, super short, and super light. And he will keep up with these crowd. He will keep up with this crowd. It's BK Muck, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you did, could you just hit that like? Give me a little thumbs up action. Let me know we're doing a good job here so we keep going and making more content for you in the future on time trials. And speaking of more content in the future on time trials, to get that, just hit that subscribe button and notification bell so it pops up for you. And you'd be like, oh my God, let's go watch this video on how quickly these quarterbacks get the ball out of their hand. Because this year, the ball out of your hand's quick, and we want to know how quick, right? So hit that notification bell just so you get that in the future. And I'll hit stick you guys later.